It was one of the country's worst maritime disasters. 304 people dead, most of whom were high school students on a domestic school trip to Jeju Island. April 16, 2014 seems forever seared into public consciousness, but for many, it's also still an unhealed memory because for years people have been campaigning for the truth, for a full, independent inquiry into the disaster. Well, South Korea State Prosecution did yesterday announce plans to establish a special unit to investigate the sinking. 8 or 9 prosecutors are expected to join the task force to look into the exact cause and rescue mistakes. This was a 6,800-ton vessel that lost balance before sinking off the country's southwestern coast. Right from the start, there were questions about what happened, why this ferry capsized, why the captain and several crew members escaped while students were told to stay below deck without being rescued, why initial reports played down the danger, why the Coast Guard and officials reacted too slowly to make the most of the golden rescue time. These questions led to numerous punishments of those connected and scrutiny all the way up to then-President Park Geun-hye, who was ultimately impeached and remains in prison over a massive corruption scandal. But still, questions persist about the Sewol disaster, and it's common still to see the yellow ribbon in public symbolizing solidarity with the victims and their loved ones. Late last month, the Special Commission on Social Disaster Investigation told a press conference it had obtained evidence showing a belated mobilization of helicopters, highlighting how a teenage victim might have survived. He could have been at a hospital within 20 minutes by emergency helicopter, but instead was transferred by various boats and was dead on arrival at hospital 4 hours and 41 minutes later. Last weekend, an association of the victims' families said they'd take legal action against 122 officials deemed responsible, citing former President Park and then Justice Minister Kyo-ahn, who now heads the conservative main opposition Liberty Korea Party, potentially further fueling an already overly politicized issue. Prosecutor General Yoon is apparently determined to probe what happened until no further clarification is needed. Some will ask why we couldn't have reached this point sooner and saved unnecessary further pain upon the tragedy. At the very least, politics should be kept out of what happens next.